after that 10th second, all the feel-good hormones start to release. So you got oxytocin, some serotonin, some dopamine, and maybe even a little adrenaline. I don't know if hugs give you adrenaline, but I know it gives you the feel-good chemicals. And so that's creating more connection. And guess what? Guess who else is going to be watching that greeting? I think that's where my 17-year-old, my 15, they see my husband and I every day, twice a day, first thing in the morning and first thing when we walk in the door. It's 10 seconds. It would be unnatural for us to hug less. I know it's probably unnatural for people to hug that long, but it'll become natural.
Welcome to Now What podcast with Yogi Patel. Today we have an amazing, outstanding guest, a friend and a colleague. Her name is Mary Tamborski, and she is local in San Diego, and she is a marriage and family therapist here locally in San Diego. And I've had this pleasure of being part of some of the activities that Mary has presented in the past with Positive Discipline. And it's a pleasure to speak with her today. She is a daughter of Dr. Jane Nelson, who is the founder of Positive Discipline. And she is so much more than a daughter of Dr. Jane Nelson. She is a mother. She's going to talk a lot about social media as well and how she uses positive discipline and being raised as a positive discipline child. And as a marriage and family therapist, there's so much wisdom here, and we're so excited to have you here, Mary. I probably didn't do justice to all that you do, but we're just so grateful that you are here to speak with us today.
Well, thank you, Yogi. It's my pleasure and honor.
Oh, lovely. Mary, marriage and children. As parents, we're raising our children. We're all in a busy hustle bustle of the day. How does happy and healthy marriage benefit children? And this is like both emotionally and developmentally. We know this, but how do we practice this?
Well, I think it's really important because children are always watching. And, up until even the age of 7, as we have learned, is that they're great at perceiving and terrible at interpreting. And so if mom and dad are not able to communicate effectively, the children are picking up on what they see. And then they will then, model that same type of conflict management or lack thereof with their own parents and relationships, and then their future romantic relationships as well. And so when mom and dad can practice having calm, clear, respectful communication, dialogue, even disagreements, but more of just understanding versus like without criticism or putting the other person down, the children just learn that naturally of, whether it's just listening and asking more questions and not being defensive, or, a question versus, for example, saying, help me understand what you mean by that. How often do we get stuck in relationships because what one person says, but what we interpret is completely different. And then a child might see us get defensive. And then that becomes a model behavior of, misinterpretation equals defense. And so being able to understand that and saying, or even another, form of communication of, wow, what you just said or, did hurt my feelings. Is that what you meant to do? So imagine if a child is hearing that, you and your partner have agreed beforehand to call each other out or to remind each other, lovingly remind each other if we say something that's hurtful. And then the children are seeing that. So then it doesn't get, escalated into a deeper conflict. If you can stop it the minute we feel hurt, ouch, that comment hurt me. Or when you picked up your phone while I was talking, that hurt my feelings. And I'm guessing that's not what you meant to do. Let me know when you have 5 minutes so I can have your undivided attention. So speaking to your partner that way, your child watches that. And then guess what? Fast forward in 10 years when they're being inconsiderate or disrespectful or, just not sensitive or thoughtful to a conversation, they have witnessed mom and dad having this dialogue and in a respectful way, not as in like a calling you out way. So then if mom has it with the son in 10 years and saying, I noticed that you started looking at your phone while we were still talking. It feels inconsiderate and disrespectful. Would you like 5 more minutes to finish what you're doing? And then I can have your undivided attention versus taking it personally. We do that. We get stuck in our own, taking everything everyone does personally. And then we feel attacked and then we tack back. So that's a